And as Israel celebrates the Jewish festival of Passover, Iran has shown no signs of letting up on its attacks. In Tel Aviv, some celebrated the religious holiday in makeshift bomb shelters. Iran threatened attacks on both the U.S. and Israel, striking Tel Aviv and other locations with missiles after U.S. President Donald Trump vowed to bomb Iran, quote, back to the Stone Ages. For more, let's bring in Emily Gordine, who is standing by in Jerusalem. So, Emily, what is the mood there amid the Jewish festival of Passover?
Well, the mood is quite somber, to be honest. We were in Tel Aviv today, and on the first day of Passover, you would normally see lots of people out in the streets. You would see them at this beach promenade. You would see the streets would be packed with cars. You would see them, especially in the late afternoon, getting ready for to go out. And we saw very, very little of that. You could tell that people who did go out were not exactly in what you would call a festive mood. I think it was more the sort of, feeling of, okay, let's just go out now anyways, and make sure we are close to a shelter in case there is another missile alert that comes through. So I think people are trying to make the best of it as much as they possibly can, but it is not what you would traditionally call Passover festivities, not at all. And you also have to keep in mind, Passover starts with the so-called Seder feast, dinner ceremony that you have that took place last evening. And in some places in Israel, that entire day, or that especially in the evening, they would be running up and down the stairs to get to the shelter. Some experienced 7 to 8 alerts on their phones, and that obviously on the eve of one of the, if not the biggest Jewish holidays.
And we have to say, I mean, in Israel, there have been waves of rocket attacks, as you've been articulating, from Iran in the past 24 hours. The Israeli military says it has also detected a missile fired from Yemen toward Israeli territory for the 4th time during this war. What is it like where you are amid the ongoing war?
Well, I am based in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem is traditionally not as much the center of these missile barrages. Some, of course, a lot of them, when Iran launches these barrages of missiles at Israel, a lot of them fly over our heads. And so we do hear the interception bangs loud over our heads. And of course, shrapnel comes down. But in Jerusalem itself, the damage has been fairly limited. Now, if you look at other places across Israel, especially central Israel, we saw very early on in the war a huge direct strike in a place called Beit Shemesh, where several people were killed, and the devastation is huge. You have people who have lost their homes, who've lost everything. Who I think it's about 4,000 to 5,000 people in Israel that, to date, because of the damage, are homeless due to this war. So the situation, as much as the majority of Israelis support this war because they think that Iran represents an existential threat to their country, there's also a growing awareness that this war comes at a cost. And also the longer it goes on, of course, it tears at people's nerves and at people's patience, because many people are also stuck at home with their kids. Schooling has moved to online learning. And so people are constantly, at home with their kids. Then there's a rocket alarm. They have to go and seek shelter. It's not easy. And the longer this war goes on, the more frustrated people are getting with it.
Emily Gordine, thank you so much.